The San Francisco 49ers lost a kicker this offseason in Robbie Gould, who was always good as gold. And now they're trying to fill the vacancy. And the start of this answer began with Zane Gonzalez this offseason. The 49ers made a trade with the Carolina Panthers, which is just going to be a swap of late round draft picks in the 2025 draft. And Gonzalez was one of the most prolific kickers in NCAA history, but there are concerns with Gonzalez. But before we get into all of that, I need to talk about why kickers are so important, especially for the 49ers, a playoff team. While kickers are often written off as a dime a dozen, kickers that are good are rare, and they also usually lead their team in points. For instance, the NFL leader in points is Adam Vinatieri, a kicker, and he scored 2,673 points in his lifetime. In comparison, Jerry Rice, he scored more points than any other non-kicker in the NFL history with 1,256. And I'm not saying kickers need to be drafted in the first or second round, but your kicking position needs to be solid. Take the Cowboys for example. Last year, they almost lost a playoff game because their kicker just couldn't hold it together. So now that I went over why kickers are such an important and crucial position for NFL teams, specifically NFL playoff teams, I want to look at Zane Gonzalez, look at his background, understand where he came from, his high school, his college, and then also how he performed in the combine, as well as how he's performed in the NFL. I'm also going to examine what scouts have been saying about him and the role that he may play in the San Francisco 49ers special team unit going forward. And finally, I do want to end this with talking about some of the concerns with Zane Gonzalez and the potential plan that I have for the 49ers. Zane Gonzalez was born May 7th, 1995, making him currently 27 in Deer Park, Texas. His current height is 6 foot and his weight is around 200 pounds. And for his high school ball, Zane Gonzalez didn't stray that far from his hometown. Actually, not at all. He went to Deer Park High School, and he was great as a kicker there. As a junior, he connected on 16 of 18 field goals and was 100% on his extra points. He had connected on his longest field goal of 44 yards, and 44 of 62 of his kickoffs went for touchbacks. And that's great for the 49ers because if he is the starter, he will be handling kickoff duties here. Also, as a senior at Deer Park High School, he was perfect on his kicks, including 10 for 10 on field goals and 100% on extra points. Coming out of high school, Zane had offers from Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona State University. Ultimately, Zane Gonzalez chose Arizona State University and started there instantly as a freshman in 2013. He made first team All Pac-12 honors, he hit 83.3% of his field goals, and converted 63 of 63 extra point attempts. And while this was an amazing start for his college career, he only improved throughout college, adding both range and accuracy. In his final year, he won the Lou Graza Award given to the top place kicker in college football, and it was a unanimous All-American senior. And Zane Gonzalez also just rewrote the whole entire record book for FBS. His 96 career field goals and 494 points set all-time FBS records. Some other notable records was he has the most records set by a kicker at 6. He also made 3 50-yard field goals in one game. That's also a record for a kicker. While Zane Gonzalez was one of the most prolific college kickers at the time, he didn't perform during the NFL Combine. And I just want to read over what the NFL had to say about him. Self-made 4-year starter who has steadily increased his kickoff distance and range as a field goal kicker. As the most prolific field goal kicker in FBS history, Gonzalez has a good chance of being drafted and becoming an instant starter. So now that we went over the overview of Zane Gonzalez, let's go over some of his strengths that the NFL mentioned. He has a powerful lower body and gets good trajectory on long distance kicks. He continued to add strength and size during his college career, but there are some weaknesses to his game. Some of them include when he takes shorter kicks, he does a weird angling to them, which caused inconsistencies during his accuracy during college. I think he solved some of those issues during the pros, but I guess time will tell. And seeing more strengths than weaknesses, the Cleveland Browns did decide to draft Zane Gonzalez. They drafted him in the 7th round with the 224th overall pick. Gonzalez was able to start immediately as a rookie, beating out veteran Cody Parker in the preseason. And during this year, he finished the season with 15 of 20 attempts made and was nearly perfect on his extra point attempts, going 25 of 26. The following year for Gonzalez wasn't nearly as good. He went 2 of 5 and then also 3 of 5 on extra points. He only played a couple games, and a big reason he was waived by the Cleveland Browns was his performance against the New Orleans Saints, where he missed a total of 4 kicks, 2 field goals, and 2 extra points. There was a report though that came out after this game that Gonzalez was playing with a torn groin, which sounds absolutely miserable, especially kicking kicks with that. Later that same year, Gonzalez was picked up by the Cardinals, and he performed actually pretty well and was consistent, especially during the 2019 season, connecting on 31 of 35 field goals and 34 of 35 points. But he also got injured again. Then he got signed by the Detroit Lions before being signed by the Carolina Panthers. And in 2021, this was his last time actually playing a full season, and he did it well again. He connected on 20 of 22 field goals and 22 of 23 extra points. But in August 2022, during the preseason, he suffered a season-ending injury. Under kind of weird circumstances, he injured his groin before a preseason game while just taking practice kicks into a kicking net. And this is where the concerning part of Zane Gonzalez begins. So if we're honest, Gonzalez is an injury-prone player at this time period in his career, making it extremely concerning that he's only kicker on the 49ers roster. So here's my plan, and something that I think could work for the 49ers. I think they should draft Christopher Dunn out of North Carolina State. I made a whole video of this guy. He's an absolute killer out there kicking field goals, and worst case comes to worst case, they have a competition and Zane Gonzalez might beat him out, but then at least you know that you have a kicker behind Gonzalez in case he gets hurt, which track record shows he probably will at some point. So overall, just this signing gets a B from me. It's a solid pickup, but the 49ers really don't have a great history, especially with injury-prone players. But now, since I just talked for a while, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think Zane Gonzalez is the answer for the 49ers, or would you like them to draft somebody, or possibly pick up an undrafted free agent? I honestly think even picking up an undrafted free agent would be a great choice, but that's just my thoughts. I really appreciate you guys making it this far, and if you did make it this far, please subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I appreciate you so much.